Hello, my friend. Welcome to my favorite video of the month. It is Favorites and Fails Countdown time, where we talk about the worst product that I tried this month, and I count all the way up to the best product that I tried this month. I got some fun stuff for you, and some things that smell bad. Let's just be honest. Hang tight. We're getting into it right now. As always, before we get into all of the makeup and skincare, I do have my hashtag not sponsored feature, and I started this a long time ago. I get requests all the time to sponsor my favorites videos, to strategically place their product as a favorite product, and I think that's super weird. So to combat that, a long time ago, I just decided I was going to talk about something that was not makeup related, that I was not sponsored to tell you about. So this month, I do want to share with you an app, and this is an app that has been important in my life for the past couple of years, and it is called Marco Polo. And essentially what it is a video chat platform. So what you do is, through the phone number of somebody that you know, you connect through Marco Polo. And in the app, you can video chat. You can send a video chat at any time, and it will be sent to that person's phone. Let's say you're not wearing makeup and you just, you're doing something and you're busy and you don't feel like being on camera. You can also send a voice note. And the best thing that I love about this app is that the other person can answer whenever they have time. It's not like when you make a traditional phone call and that person has to be available. In this case, the person does not have to be available. They check it when they can, and then they respond back when they have time. And I love that so much because my days are always so incredibly packed, and I usually save my Marco Polo time for when I have a little bit of downtime. I'll go through and respond to my friends, and they know that it may take me a week to get back to them, and it's totally cool. It's also a great way for me to keep in touch with and get to know other people on YouTube. A lot of my friends here on YouTube that have beauty channels, I keep in touch with through Marco Polo. And of course, this is great for anybody. You don't have to do it for communicating with beauty creators. It's great for communicating with family, with friends that you just want to touch base with every once in a while, or people that you want to talk to daily, but you may not have time for a phone call when they have time. This has been such a wonderful way for me to keep in touch with and get to know people that don't live close to me. And it is responsible for some of the friendships that I have now. And I'm just so incredibly thankful. I especially wanted to share this because it has been so good for my social life and keeping in touch with people that I care about. And I know that a lot of other people would enjoy it as well if you only knew about it. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. And with that being said, with that out of the way, let's talk about the worst product I tried this month. The worst product I tried this month is a product that was sent in PR from a brand that I absolutely love. They've been sending me a bunch of PR, and this is my least favorite thing that I've tried from them. This is the Ciate Microblade Brow. This is an awful brow product, okay? It's not functional. That's the thing. So let me show you. It's one of these kinds of things where it's got these little 3 tips here, these little 3 points. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put it on your brow, and it's supposed to be like, I don't know, there's other products that are like this. I'm having trouble doing this in the monitor backwards, and these swatches are the worst swatches I've ever done, but you can still, here, let me do one that I'm actually looking at so I can see. So it's essentially a marker, and the best products that are like this go on with the 3 little points, but you can see with this one, it just goes on as a mush. It also does not help that it's the wrong shade for me. This one is in, I believe, light brunette, soft brown, and it's definitely too light for me. I have very, very dark hair, so that doesn't help. But what I found was happening with this, that I would definitely have happened even if it was the correct shade, is that the more I apply it, the more it just doesn't work. So I did one brow. By the time I got to the second brow, I couldn't even get product to come out. So I had to just abandon it completely. And it's just not a good product. For me, a good brow pencil is going to fill in the spaces in my brow, and it's going to look relatively natural. This it just kind of looks like you're putting color in, but it definitely doesn't look like brow hairs in any way. And then the drying out thing really pushes it to the bottom, unfortunately. So I really think Ciate needs to go back to the drawing board on this one. I don't think it's a good product at all. Number 9 is not a terrible product. It's the smell. It's the smell for me. It's so gross. All right, this is the Jones Road Cool Gloss, and I have the shade Nude Beige. It smells like mint and plastic. And this really reminds me of the glosses I used to use in high school. And I feel like we've come so far since 1995 that this should not, maybe Jones Road was going for that nostalgia. I don't know, but I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it at all. But I will say that the color and the formula are actually very nice. It's really just the scent. Let me go ahead and swatch it for you so you can see. So that's just a straight up swatch of it, and then I'll kind of blend it in. I mean, the pigmentation is gorgeous. The color is gorgeous. Lasting power is what you would expect from a gloss. It's not great, but I would never expect a gloss to be a great lasting power. They just typically aren't. And it's not sticky in any way. It does feel a little bit heavy on the lips, but not annoyingly so. And it's pretty comfortable overall. It's really just the scent on this. I cannot stand it. It lingers. It stays there as long as the gloss is on my lips, and I just can't. It's like, bleh. Now we're getting into things that I like, but I feel like could be better. So let's talk about this Glossier eye trio. This is the Monochromes in Mist, and I did purchase this because I hadn't bought a lot of Glossier, and I wanted to try more from the brand. This is a fine eyeshadow palette. It's fine. If you know someone that really just likes a very basic makeup look, they really don't like to complicate things, that's who this is meant for. I like to complicate things. I like to have fun with color. I like to play, and I don't think this was marketed to me. And that's really why it's lower. It's not because it's a bad product. I do like the 3 different finishes, and I like the concept behind it, that there are the 3 different finishes, but the matte is really, really lightly pigmented. There's really nothing there to it, and that's why I said I'm just not the target market for this palette. The last one on the end, the really shimmery guy, is the most my jam, but it's just, I don't think it was worth the price for what you get in this, unless, like I said, you just really like this particular color because it is monochrome and you like a very natural look, or you feel like this is going to complement another eyeshadow palette for you. It's just okay for me. I wish that the matte was a little bit more punchy, but again, I think it's just my personal preference, and I think that's going to work really well for a different person. This next one kind of breaks my heart a little bit, but it's another one of those that I think is good. It just could use some improvement in my opinion, and it is the Sigma Alice in Wonderland palette. And y'all know my love for Alice in Wonderland. It's my thing, okay? So I was really excited and so thankful when they sent this in PR, and I do like this palette very much. The brush that comes in it, which of course I don't know where it is fantastic. It's typical, wonderful, amazing Sigma brushes, so that's not the issue. The issue with me is the lasting power on some of these shades, and also the way they present on the eye versus the way that they are in the pan. I'll tell you some of my favorite shades. My favorite shade in here is actually the shade Twinning, which I did not think would be my favorite, but it is such a beautiful mustard shade. I am wearing this on my eyes today and just played all over the place with it. Other favorite shades in here are Alice, of course, and White Rabbit is really nice. And then I actually haven't used Mr. Walrus yet over here. I don't know why I haven't used that one yet. And then also Mad Hatter is a great shade. So those are the shades on my fingers, and let me go ahead and swatch them on my hand so you can see them. I'm going to go ahead and double swatch Alice since it is more of a buildable shade. And that's kind of what we're dealing with some of the shades I really like. Some of the ones I don't like as much are Tea Party, which I was really disappointed in that I don't like it as much, and Lost here. This one, it has it's almost like they use so much binder in it that it's like almost... It's really difficult to get it to pick up on a brush. It's almost sticky to the touch. Not sticky, but it's like really emollient in there. And as I'm looking at it, I think those are the only 2 shades that I had difficulty with. But you can see because of the emollients in that black shade, if you apply it with a fingertip, it's absolutely gorgeous, but I've had a lot of trouble applying that with a brush. Now with this shade here, I feel like it is more green in the pan and more yellow on the eye, and I just wish that it were more green in reality. I also had a little bit of trouble with lasting power on one day, but honestly, I didn't take good enough notes, and I'm so sorry about that as far as which shades I used that day, but the lasting power just wasn't great, but it was only one day. Every other day I've used this, the lasting power has been fine. I hate that I didn't write it down. Why didn't I write it down? I don't know. I do really love the color story. I think they nailed it on this. It's just the formula isn't my favorite. And honestly, I think it's because I'm just so spoiled by some of their other palettes. The new Mod and the Cinderella palettes are so freaking good. There's the new Mod, and then here's Cinderella. These are freaking phenomenal. So I would say if these are a 10 out of 10, this is like a 7 out of 10. Next up, so thankful to be back on Lights Lacquer PR. Like I've mentioned many times, because of my other business, I can't wear nail polish, but I was really, really excited to be able to try some of their new lip glosses that they sent over, and they really are beautiful glosses. The reason why they're so low down is because they're very ordinary in the formula. They are the typical lip gloss formula that is a little bit heavy, not sticky, but feels fine. They're fine. They're just fine. The scent smells really good. They have like a vanilla cake kind of scent, like white cake. And I absolutely love the applicator on these. It's got a little bit of a hole in the middle, if you can see that. And when it applies, it bends really nicely. You can see the product coming out on there. And the applicator is really, really nice. And I do really love that a lot. Let me go ahead and swatch these for you so you can see what we're dealing with as far as pigmentation goes. You can see not a lot of pigmentation. We have Alyssa, Miss Honey, and Das Suspensive. And they're fine. Like I said, they're fine. If you like Kathleen Lights and you like Lights Lacquer and you need a new lip gloss, they're great. But don't get them because you think that they're going to be head and shoulders better than any other lip gloss you own. Right smack in the middle, we're actually jumping into the products that I really, really, really like a lot. Let's talk about this. This is the Savannah Bee Company Beeswax and Propolis Key Lime Lip Balm. This past summer, my son really wanted to visit Myrtle Beach because he had heard through our internet searching that they had fantastic candy stores there. So we went there, and I was personally very excited because the closer you get to Georgia, the closer you get to Savannah Bee Company. And you can usually find a store that sells this stuff. I love their skincare products. I had gotten their hand cream the last time I had been down south and absolutely freaking loved it. So I did get another hand cream and I got a lip balm for the first time, and I love this lip balm. It smells just like key lime pie. Oh my gosh. It smells so freaking good. It's very moisturizing. It's very hydrating. It just feels really good. Now, I know some of you may have found me through my lip balm video, so let's just very quickly go through the lip balm ingredients. Now, when I was doing notes for this video, the ingredients were different than what is actually on my tube, so I'm going to go by what's on the tube. I think that maybe it's listed wrong, or maybe I just went to the wrong part of the website. I don't know. But essentially, the base of this is shea butter, coconut oil, olive oil, cocoa butter, and sunflower seed oil. And then we get into all the bee ingredients like propolis, which I love in my skincare. The base of it is occlusive and moisturizing. The only thing I can see people having an issue with is the olive oil, because at one point there was a study done, and we talked about it on YouTube. Some skincare influencers talked about it on YouTube, where essentially what they were doing was they were taking olive oil and they were testing to see whether that would be a good ingredient in baby products. So they put it on their skin every day for a couple of weeks, and what they found was it messed up the top layer of the skin. So they threw that out as an ingredient to use in the baby products. So when YouTubers found out about it, and JLo came out with a whole olive oil skincare line, all of that, people freaked out about it and demonized olive oil. But what I think is missing from that conversation is when you mix the olive oil with other things, it's not going to be the same as that research study that just used olive oil on its own. So So I don't personally have an issue with olive oil in my skincare. I wouldn't say that that's my favorite oil ever, but I do love me some sunflower seed oil. I love shea butter. Coconut oil can be really, really good, especially on the lips and the hair. I know some people don't like it all over their face, but for the lips, I personally really like it a lot. Of course, you're not going to like this if you don't like fragrance. This has lime oil in it, which can be irritating to some people, but for me, I freaking love this lip balm. Lasting power is great. It smells amazing. The smell lingers, and I love it. A while back, Sigma came out with highlighters and bronzers, and I haven't really talked about them, and I don't know why, because this bronzer is fabulous. I am not a huge bronzer person. I have trouble applying them and making them look pretty because a lot of times they're way too pigmented, and I end up looking like I'm bruised. I'm just not good at it. But this bronzer I really, really like a lot. This is the matte bronzer in light. I'll go ahead and swatch it for you so you can see, but they do have a really nice shade range of colors for you to choose from. But you can see there isn't a whole lot of pigmentation to it, which I personally really love. You can build it up a little bit. Let's try to keep building and see if we can get it to the most build possible. But you can see it's not a lot. So if you're my skin tone or lighter, I think this is a really, really great shade. I'll put up on the screen now their other shades in case you're not my skin tone. Lasting power on this is wonderful. It's a very soft formula. And the best part about it though for me is that it's pretty error proof. So if you were like me and you have issues applying bronzer, this may be something you want to look at. I was so excited to get these in PR, and I think that they are definitely amazing. But I do have one little critique on these. These are the Kaleidos multi-chrome liners. They're part of the Night of Creation collection, and as you can see, there are 6 of them. I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch them real quick. So here are the shades there, and the shift is not super intense when you apply them on the skin, but you can definitely see the shift. On the eye, I feel like these two here and these two here really aren't terribly different. For shade names, the top one here is 7Cs, the next one is Limelight, and then on the bottom, we have Solaris and Tourmaline. These two are significantly different than the rest of the collection. So I just wanted to give you the heads up in case you didn't necessarily want the whole collection. Maybe you were trying to choose between one of the greens. You can see the difference. I feel like you can see a more in the swatch difference than you can see when they're actually on the eye and over top of eyeshadow and all of that. But as far as the performance of these, they're freaking phenomenal. I love them on their own, but I also really love them over top of a black liner. I feel like that really makes them pop on the eye, and they're gorgeous. Lasting power is great. They last in my lower lash line, which is very odd for a pencil liner like this, and they are so, so incredibly fun. I am so thankful to have these. Even the shades that aren't really that much different from each other, there is a difference, and I am so excited to continue playing with these. Really excited about this next product. I have had issues over time with chemical exfoliators, where some chemical exfoliators are just too strong for my skin. They end up making my skin look like almost like it's thinning before my eyes. Like it just doesn't look bright. It doesn't look plump. It doesn't look pretty when I over exfoliate my skin. And I have found that this product has been wonderful for my skin, using it 1 day per week. I started using it 2 days per week and it was fine, but I find that the best balance for me is using this just 1 day a week. This is the Farmacy Honeymoon Glow AHA Resurfacing Night Serum with hydrating honey and gentle flower acids. Yes. First, let's talk about the texture and the smell. So it looks like that. It's kind of oozy drippy. It has a tad bit of a floral honey scent, a little bit creamy, and it feels like a serum in that it feels kind of watery. It's very thin. It doesn't feel sticky or tacky in any way. It dries down beautifully. It's already starting to dry down on my skin, but it doesn't make my skin feel weird in any way, like I've put on some kind of strange liquid to my face that I have to put on something over top of it. It dries down to feeling like absolutely nothing. The ingredients in here back up what I feel like it does and what the product says that it does. So the major exfoliators in here are the lactic acid and the glycolic acid. That's going to help you to slough off the dead skin off of your face so that your face can just look fresher and brighter. Lactic acid and glycolic acid are both very, very researched, effective ingredients, and they are prominently in this product. There's also a couple of other AHAs that they threw in there that are a little less researched in the citric acid, sugarcane extract, and sugar maple extract. There's also in here, which I think is another reason why I like this product, willow bark extract. That's an anti-inflammatory, and it's also a BHA chemical exfoliator. Now, the most common BHA chemical exfoliator, hopefully you're finding this interesting, is salicylic acid. My skin does not like salicylic acid. I don't necessarily even need salicylic acid. That is an ingredient that helps to clear out your pores. It's really good for oily and acne-prone skin. The willow bark extract is kind of supposed to be a replacement for that, but there isn't as much research for it, and it doesn't seem to be quite as effective as salicylic acid, which is probably why this agrees with me so well, because salicylic acid and me, we're not friends. We especially at a high concentration, it messes up my face. So I think that's part of the reason why I really like this. There's also some wonderful antioxidants in here: grapeseed oil, turmeric root extract, ginger root extract, meadow foam seed oil. Antioxidants are just wonderful at fighting free radical damage. It'll help to aid the AHAs in helping with any hyperpigmentation and dark spots. There's also a lot of moisturizing ingredients in here. We have safflower olisomes, honey extract, sodium hyaluronate, hyaluronic acid, argan oil, sunflower seed oil, and glycerin, all both either hydrating or moisturizing to help your skin to be nice and plump and hydrated. The downside of this is the orange and lemon extracts in here. There's also citral, so if your skin doesn't like citrus extracts, you probably want to stay away from this. But for me, this has been a fantastic product, and I am so thankful that Farmacy sent this over for me to try, because I probably wouldn't have purchased it on my own, but I'm really, really loving this, and this will probably be a purchase after I run out. Finally, my friend, at number one, it's another PR product, but I have to be honest with you, this is what I've been enjoying the most. And I've been enjoying these so much, I could have sworn I talked about these in a previous favorites and fails countdown, but I think I just talked about them in What's Up in Makeup. And it's these Glow 2 blushes by Ciate. Oh my gosh, these are my new favorite blushes. They are freaking phenomenal. I know I've talked about these things before, but I don't see on my list that I talked about in favorites and fails, so they're gonna be my number one this month. The print on them is so cute. Get it to focus. There you go. It looks like a little present. It's absolutely adorable. The only thing I would say is you won't like these if you don't like any kind of shimmer in your blushes, because there is a slight shine, no sparkle, just a slight shine to these.
Okay, so you just kind of have to decide whether you think that these would look good on you or not, because all of our skin tones are different. So the first one is Summer Fling. Then we have First Date. The next one is Doll Face, and then Deep Love. And Deep Love is definitely my favorite. I love these like plummy tones. They're just perfect. That's what I'm wearing on my face today, is Deep Love, along with the Sigma bronzer. And they give the most beautiful, subtle glow to the skin, along with being blushes. So if you're used to putting on like a matte blush with just like a subtle highlight, this is like a 2-in-1 product for that. If you want a more pop-in highlight, of course, you're gonna have to apply something more than just this. But on its own, it's just so beautiful, and it's so on trend. That glowy look is super on trend. Lasting power on these is fantastic. Never had a problem with these lasting throughout the day, no matter what foundation / primer I'm using. They're just beautiful, beautiful blushes. The only thing I can see bugging people is that the fingerprints on the packaging. I know that bothers some people, but other than that, man, this formula inside is so freaking good. And at this point, my friend, it is your turn in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, where we help each other not to buy crap and to buy things that are totally worth it. I would love to know your thoughts about any of these products down below. Have you tried any of them? What do you think? I only have one face, so your face lending it, wait,
lending us your opinions about your face and how these products work on it is super helpful because we can all learn from you and your experiences, whether you agree or disagree. I would love to know down in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the countdown. If you would like to hang out just a little bit longer, YouTube should be recommending a couple of videos for you right over here to watch. But if it is your time to go, it is no problem at all. Thank you so much for hanging out as long as you did. And mad love to you, and I will see you in a video very, very soon.